Good morning. It's Monday, March 6th, 2023, and it's about 9:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So, what's going on with the markets? So, last week we talked about these markets coming down and getting weak, and all of a sudden we get this big run up here. So, what does that mean anyway? Um, So there's news, and the news wasn't even important. The market drove up just from what people think the news was, but actually people were questioning that because there's nothing in the news that really made it do that. So I had mentioned before, these markets are manipulated. I mean, there's no way around that. It's one of the first things I learned. So I did some research back around this time here. This is in September, and same thing because I can in this chart in Thinkorswim chart system I got here. I can actually wind this thing backwards and actually watch this thing trade and just see it go up and down and look back at the news and see what happened at that point. So what happened is, of course, the Feds had a meeting. The market went up, and then it came down. Same thing. It was a CPI report that came out, and same thing here. I mean, basically, there's nothing here to drive this market up other than Wall Street is just bringing this up because, like I said, this is a buy-sell game. So people are buying. I was looking, kind of glancing at the news, and people are excited. They're thinking that everything's going to go back up, and they're buying. And this thing's going to just come right down. It's probably going to do this maybe this week, and it's going to come down. Now, we talked about this last week where I thought this market was going to come down to about this point or maybe even here and then retrace. But it looks like it did it a little bit earlier than I thought. So this is retracement, which is pretty good because, that's not a bad thing because now it can drive this thing all the way down here before we get another little retracement. And so you can make some pretty good money down. So as far as our positions, like I said, I had bought some put options up in here, and then when they came down here, I sold them and changed and rolled them over to April because I had March. And now the market came here and back here. So now that my profit pretty much disappeared right here. But if you're in long term, it doesn't really matter. Longer term, it doesn't matter because if you expect the market to come down here, which I do, then you just hold on to your position. And that's one way, that's pretty much how you trade longer term. As far as day trading, which I had mentioned and I do, so here's the market right here. So the same thing, you got this balance area right here, which is that same balance area. It still applies in all the charts. So this balance area right here is in a 5-minute chart, which is right here, the same balance area. So the market just came up and it balanced out in here. I put this balance area, and once it breaks down, this would be a good short to day trade. And then you just short it down. So I have a position in here to get in going down. And then you place your stop up here. I have a mental stop because I buy options. I am buying options on this one, not buying futures on this one here. And then this is going to ride down. How far is this going to go down? I think this is a really good opportunity to ride this thing down today. I'm not sure how far. I mean, there's a couple stops along the way, but I'm sure it's going to come and fill these little gaps in here. Because like I said, this is a market that's manipulated. Okay, so where are we going? We're in a downtrend. This is we're in a bear market. We're not in a bull market. Let's see, 1 day, right there. So once again, market was at its high, and that's clearly a bear market. I don't care what the news says. I don't care what Apple's doing or Tesla. This is a bear market. And so this market is going to continue down. And I think this is a really good opportunity to short, either longer term, you can buy more put options here, or if you go and you day trade it, and this would be a good opportunity to short it. Now, can this market come back up in this box and go up higher? Sure, it can do that. But there are no absolutes. I mean, as far as time goes, I think it's pretty much an absolute for me as far as this market eventually going to keep going down. But the timeline is what you have to be concerned about, and especially in day trading. Longer term trading, not so much. As long as you already have your positions in and you are going in longer term, let's say for, I don't know, a couple weeks, couple months, and you believe it's going to come down here, you just hold your position. And you can actually even buy more positions here. And if this market does decide and start coming up in this area, and you feel like it's going to stay there, then you're going to have to sell with a loss. I don't see that happening. But again, maybe. I see this scenario here playing out like this scenario right here. And then it came down big time. And that's how I see this. And that's how I'm trading the market. All right, so you have to decide what you're going to do. So I'm making a video right now on what I would probably recommend as far as buying longer term, what I think, and I believe gold, if you want to buy gold, I trade sometimes a GLD, which is the Spiders Gold Trust. It's an ETF. You can buy options on this. And gold had broken down and it's starting to come up. Now, I don't know if this is going to continue down until it goes up, but I can tell you this, that right now, all the banks on this planet are buying gold. I mean, record number amount of banks and record number amount of gold is being purchased right now. And so there's a reason for that. Now, there's always a delay. These people already know what's going on. And the delay is by the time the public finds out, it's already too late. So this would be like buying, Apple or Microsoft or Google or Amazon when it was at its IPO, when it was just a couple bucks. And that's what I believe gold is sitting right now. This is going to soar sky high. So this would not be a bad investment. It would be a good investment for longer term. Anyway, that's my recommendation, and that's what I'm doing. So you don't have to buy gold. There's a lot of people, including my friends, that are actually buying the physical gold pieces. I'm not doing that yet, and I'm not sure if I will do that. But sure, when gold goes up, you can double, triple, and quadruple. But when you're trading in the markets, and especially options, you can make so much money doing this compared to buying the physical gold. And so that's my strategy because I'm a trader. And if you're not a trader and you just want to buy gold and hold on to it, well, that's not a bad idea. You can do that too. All right, so the Dow Jones, same thing. It's still in this balance area. And this balance area actually grew last week. I extended it down to here. It was here. And it's still in this balance area. So it's just playing around in this area. And like I said, eventually it's got to break out sometime. It can't stay here forever. And so the NASDAQ is pretty much the same as the ES, except it's actually gone up further into this area because it never really went down as much as the ES. So it makes sense that it did go up back into this balance area, which it would stay here. If it stayed here for a whole week, it's possible it could stay here. But if it heads down tomorrow or the next day, then that would be a wash. It's not actually going to stay in that area. It's going to just continue down into this downtrend. So I mentioned also a timeline as far as the space between here and here, here and here, here and here, and the space between here. Now, if this market drags out here and finally comes down, it's not going to be in sync with the rest of this, which pretty much is accurate. It does pretty much stay in sync. You can see the space between them. And if this market actually does start coming down this week, way down in here, then it's falling into that symmetrical pattern that these have done. Okay, so it's not 100%, but I do look at that. And so my best guess is that this market is doing exactly what this is doing. Same thing. There was a Fed report that came out. I think this was a CPI report. And then it just went down. It's just the way the markets work. This is a buy-sell game. So there's people that are buying here. So what's the next step? To sell. Just like a game. It's your turn, now it's your turn, now it's your turn. So it's a buyer's turn, now it's a seller's turn, it's a buyer's turn, seller's turn. All right, so you know where I stand. Again, back to day trading. This is a pretty good line to buy going down. If this thing continues going down, then that would be a good short play. And of course, if it continues up, then it's not. But we'll see. This is another balance area. Like I said, usually when it hits a balance area and it takes off, and if you have confirmation going in that direction, it's going to continue to go in that one direction. And from here to here, we haven't had a correction yet. So should be a correction here coming up, and that means this would probably go down to either this line, and this line before it decides to go up, or it would just continue down and continue the bear market. So this would probably be considered a maybe a bull trap. If you want, let's see, get rid of that. If you want to talk about technical, that would probably be considered a bull trap. This right here would be a bull trap right here. All right, not much to say. Like I said, I'm making a video right now about buying longer term because I think these markets are really in trouble. There's a lot of people that don't actually know what's going on. If you're watching the news, just the regular news that they put out, you're not going to get any information on what's going on. You're going to have to really start digging. And if you want, I can start leaving some links below on some contacts that I have. Now, like I said before, all my information comes from people that have been in the business a long time, that either work for the government, they work for the Treasury, they worked under the president. They know what's going on. They've been in business 30, 40, 50 years. And that's the information. They've written books. That's the information that I get. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now with our monetary system. And I think it's a good idea that you look into that to see where these markets are eventually going to go. A lot of those guys, they don't know exactly how far down it's going to go, but they all agree that it's going to go down quite a bit. Okay, so that's it for now. We'll wait and see what happens, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.